Howe, lads. Something's moving behind the scenes at Newcastle, and it could change the whole attack. Arsenal may have just opened the door for a surprise Newcastle move. A proven striker is suddenly taking Newcastle seriously, but there's a catch. Subscribe now, because this summer already smells like drama at St James's Park. According to reports coming out of Turkey, Arsenal are open to selling Leandro Trossard this summer, with Newcastle and Aston Villa both watching the situation closely. And just for context, Anthony Gordon's move to Barcelona has already been widely reported, with the deal put around £70 million. So, this link makes sense from our side. Right, lads, this one's got me proper torn because Newcastle are being linked with Leandro Trossard, and honestly, after losing Anthony Gordon to Barcelona, we can't afford to mess about. Now look, Trossard's not a mug. Far from it. Arsenal signed him from Brighton for £27 million. He's scored goals, he's played big matches, and he even started for them in that Champions League final against PSG, where Arsenal lost on penalties after a 1-1 draw. So this isn't some random squad filler. The lad's got experience. He's clever around the box, he can play off the left, he can drift inside, he knows the Premier League, and he's the sort of player who can nick you a goal when a match gets tight. But here's the thing, is that enough for us now? Because I'm stood here thinking about match day at St James's Park, the cold air cutting through the city, walking up past the Strawberry, hearing the Gallowgate before you even get inside SJP. And I'm asking myself, is Leandro Trossard the name that gets the Toon Army bouncing again after Gordon's gone? I'm not saying no, I'm just saying we need to be careful. We've already had enough years under Ashley where we had to accept scraps and pretend they were ambition. We're not there anymore. We've won the Carabao Cup. We've had Champions League nights back at SJP. We've got War Bruno leading us, Tonali gliding about like pure class, Big Joe smashing through midfield, and Dan Burn living every Geordie lad's dream. So, if we're replacing Gordon, it can't just be, oh, he's available, he's decent, get him in. Nah, man, Howe. If Gordon's gone, we don't need a warm body on the wing. We need a statement in black and white. And honestly, I reckon that's where the debate starts. Trossard could be canny smart business if the price is right. 1 year left on his Arsenal deal, experienced, versatile. No need to spend 6 months teaching him what Premier League football feels like. He can come in and do a job straight away. But the mad part is, Arsenal are moving like a club trying to upgrade on him. They're looking at names like Bradley Barcola and Rafael Leao, and that tells you everything, doesn't it? If the self-appointed elite are trying to level up, why should we be taking the player they've decided might not be enough? That's what gets me. We can't act like we're still begging for leftovers from the old guard. We're Newcastle United. We're not some charity case waiting outside the Emirates for spare boots and a used shirt. And before anyone starts, I know Trossard can play. I've seen him hurt teams. I've seen that little shift inside, that calm finish, that annoying knack of popping up where defenders fall asleep. He's not flashy every week, but he's effective. There's value in that. But replacing Anthony Gordon is emotional as well as tactical. Gordon gave us pace, edge, direct running, that nasty little spark you need on the left. When he drove at fullbacks, SJP stood up. You could feel it. That little buzz around the stands like something's about to happen. Can Trossard give us that? Well, not exactly. Different player, different energy. Trossard is more controlled, more technical, more of a final third problem solver. Gordon was chaos, pressure, pace, attitude. And if Eddie Howe wants someone who can fit into patterns, combine with the striker, drift into pockets and score 8 to 10 goals, then Trossard makes sense. But if we're trying to scare fullbacks, stretch the pitch, and make Champions League defenders feel mortal under the lights at St James's Park, I'm not convinced he's the whole answer. Maybe he's part of the answer. That's the key. Bring him in as a smart option. Fine. Bring him in as the Gordon replacement and call it a day. Didn't even start with that. We need ambition. Proper ambition. The kind that says we're not just patching holes, we're building a squad that can punch the old guard in the mouth and stay at the top table. And look, Aston Villa being around this makes it more interesting. Because Villa are no mugs either. They're trying to move sharp, they know the value of Premier League proven players, and if they're watching Trossard too, then we can't pretend there's nothing there. But I'll say this straight. If we go for him, it needs to be on our terms, not a panic move, not a "we lost Gordon, quick, grab someone" move. It needs to be part of a bigger plan, because we've waited too long for this era to start thinking small. We didn't come through 14 years of Ashley, win our first domestic trophy since 1955, get Champions League nights back at SJP, and then start acting grateful for anyone with a decent highlight reel. I like Trossard. I respect Trossard. But I don't want safe to become our ceiling. If he comes in alongside a younger, explosive winger, mint, that's squad depth. That's options. That's a proper European squad. But if he's the headline replacement for Gordon, honestly, man, I'd be worried, because Newcastle should be shopping like a club with scars, pride and ambition. Not fear, not panic, not "that'll do" away the lads. We need more than "that'll do." And here's the question for you lot, because I reckon this one will split the Toon army right down the middle. If Newcastle replace Anthony Gordon with Leandro Trossard, is that smart Premier League business? Or is it proof we're still not acting like a truly elite club?
Perfect, perfect, perfect.